Testing 1 2 mic check. Testing 1 2 mic check. It's your boy Zulu Gutter. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Oh man, I'm trying, man. I'm trying for y'all. Bear with me, please. Please. I know it's a bad habit. I know it happens often. But I eventually do the stream. So it's just ever increasing more reasons not to date. There's nothing worth dating out here. And people come into new introductions and interactions with you, and maybe you get to a status of from dating to exclusivity, right? But there's a catch 22 even getting to that point. There's many catch 22s, right? The biggest catch 22 is the woman that you get to that point with has other men some kind of way. The next catch 22 is you're going to have a list of things that you're going to have to settle for, accept, and overlook in order to continue moving forward with their woman. So you got a shared, used up woman in abundance here. When we say in this space that only 1 to 3% of women in America that truly originated out of America is marriageable, we mean that. You really don't know who's married to who. I've run into so many women that are separated and not officially divorced that's another question you have to ask. Are you currently married or separated? You know, within the past 2 years, I've came across 2 women like this. That was one of the reasons why I got rid of my concubine, because she told me after the fact, and she said she didn't want to be judged. And women hide information. They think it's okay once they get to a certain point with you, when they think they getting good with you, um, and y'all doing things together, and they think they're benefiting, then they want to try to spring it on you because they think that you won't let go. I've had I have had information after the fact sprung on me by the last 3 or 4 chicks that it's to the point to where, like I told you early this morning, I don't take no American woman, especially American black woman, at all. And I don't see them suitable. I see them as risky and dangerous. Uh, they are only really worth recreation. They can't even achieve concubine status. I've even told some of these women that I'm looking for a biblical concubine, if anything, and you will have to earn a wife status, right? And they scoff and they frown, and they don't even know a concubine status is higher than a girlfriend and a fiance. You're either a concubine or a wife. Those are the only real true statuses for a man to have with a woman. And the concubine gets wife benefits, semi-wife benefits. These women are weird out here. Like I said, they do not know words and terms in the correct definition, true meaning, and usage. So you're going to have to deal with leftover shared women to pick from in this country. I have no reason to date in this country. None whatsoever. Dating is incorrect, demonic, the wrong way to go about finding a mate. The women are left over and shared by other men. They have other men always. You can truly never be a man and a husband to a woman in America. And dealing with a black woman is asking for a life full of stress. You'll never have peace. These women have kids, if not more than one baby daddy. These women smoke weed. These women drink. These women are on meds. These women go to therapy. Their therapist is fucked up, so they don't get no help. Imagine a person in need of mental health assistance going to a fucked up therapist. I just witnessed that in real life. Literally. Let me break that down to you for a minute so you guys don't think I'm capping. Remember the therapist that lost her job recently, right? I didn't really have to look no more than the very first few minutes of when she started talking, and I turned that shit off. And then every stream everybody done on her and any response she did based on what happened to her, I think maybe I looked at one other stream from one of my favorite content creators. All the rest of that shit I skipped over. You know why I skipped over that shit? Because the first thing this woman said was telling women, if you want to be a hoe, go be a hoe. And then she turned after that, immediately told guys how men need therapy. So after your therapy, you go back and deal with the women that you told to be whores. And you don't know if whores drove men to therapy in the first place. And see, the reason why men don't go to therapy is because they know they don't need fucking therapy, because they know they're dealing with dumbass females, wicked ass females. And they refuse them, and they're starting to get rejected and rebuttals by these men who have gotten smarter. So now they're making false accusations against us. Oh, you need therapy. I need therapy because I won't accept you and your dumb shit. I won't listen to the shit that you do that's wrong and watch you do the shit that's wrong and don't make sense. I won't agree with that shit. I won't sign up to subject myself to that shit. But you're telling me I need fucking therapy because I see you are a wrongdoer and you cause problems and you're not good for me. So you make a false accusation that I need emotional intelligence. All the while, other women in positions like therapy, in positions where women can get information, advice, they give y'all bad advice. Go be a whore. And if men are dumb enough to realize nothing, if they're dumb enough to let me correct myself. If men are dumb enough to not realize that it's not you, it's the female, and you go to therapy, you go in there and waste money, you listen to one of these therapists, which is likely going to be a female sympathizing with other females or have girl code. We all know how they lie, cheat, and steal for each other. You're going to go in there and it's going to be biased as fuck. They're going to make you psychologically believe something's wrong with you. And then you're going to go out of therapy after wasting all that goddamn money and coming out brainwashed, and you're gonna be even worse than what you came in. On top of that, the whores that she told them to be, which they were already whores, even without her telling them, it's gonna fuck you up even worse if you deal with them. I had to tell y'all this, right? I know I told y'all this before. My ex-husband died 6, 7 years ago. She still consider herself married. Her family has been getting on her for years about letting that marriage go. And the few men that she mentioned before me, I'm pretty sure it was more than that. Um, Even though I don't care about other men, I understood the reality of what I just dealt with. She has ran off men with this persistence in trying to claim that she's still married. Yet she has made a decision to deal with new men. I guess once she was ready. Don't know exactly when, what time frame after the death, but I do know she has dealt with other men. One of the key things I had told her was, when you decided to deal with other men, your marriage ended. What you have been doing is trying to force your marriage into new interactions and relationships with new men that you make a decision to deal with, because you have worked up the need to deal with another man and you don't want to be alone. And then you're trying to come up with some dynamic that you want a man to be submissive to. You want a man to acknowledge you as married to a dead spouse and have a limited relationship in real life forever how long with you. And it don't work like that. And then these guys leave, get fed up. You know, one of her biggest things were these guys said something bad about my marriage. For the longest, I would just be like, look, I don't care about this shit. I don't want to talk about this shit. You know, even when she brought it up, I just keep worrying about what the fuck I'm doing. I told her from day one, I don't care about no other nigga dead or alive. Never have, never will. I don't care about other men. Never have, never will. Only thing I care about is don't put me in a situation where I'm sharing you. You know? So it took her family, after being with me for so long, to tell her, hey, look, he's a good man. What happened to you, you taking that shit out on him. And she was beefing with her sister too, because she did some bogus shit. She was hanging around her sister at one point, and then she stopped hanging around her sister, left her sister, hanging for a while. Her sister started complaining to the family. One of the other family members, her cousin, went back and told her what was said, and they brought up her marriage. And then the issue about men came up: who has a boyfriend, who doesn't, who's jealous of who. And she came to me, confided in me, because she was feeling bad about, what was going on. And I broke the shit down to her. I said, well, yeah, you're supposed to. What happened was she moved to another apartment. When she got to that other apartment, she didn't want to go over her sister's house no more. You know what I'm saying? And I told her that's wrong. Always go over your sister's house no matter what. You've been going over it, go over there. If you don't want to go over there, invite her over to your crib. You know what I'm saying? Spend time with your sister. Problem solving, leadership. I had to tell her that. Common sense shit. And it's her family. That ain't even my fucking family, right? Related to all that was my name coming up, taking that death of her first spouse out on me and currently me. She brought it up. And, when she finally brought it up, I said, well, look, I haven't said much about that at all. You know my take on it. I told you I don't really care about no man in your past, dead or alive. I do, like I said, I do feel sympathy for you for what happened to you. That is messed up. But you made a decision to deal with other men, and here we are now, right? So I tell her, I ask her, I said, now look, I'm gonna say something to you, but I'm asking you, is it okay for me to talk about the death of your first husband, basically your mind state about your first marriage, and um just your dealings with men after the fact, right? And she said, yeah. Okay. And I said, I did mention the one thing that I told you before when after a while, after dealing with you, we had a conversation before this, and I told you I would appreciate it. You would address him as your first husband or late husband and first marriage when you're in my presence, because you're disrespecting my presence, my efforts, and what I got going on right now with you, right? So I reaffirmed that. I said, I'm about to begin this conversation again with that previous conversation. And then I explained to her how she's disrespecting the new man or the current man in exclusivity in a serious relationship. I said it demises, undermines, and makes him feel less than, and makes the man feel like what he's doing right now is a waste of time. It makes him feel like he's in a relationship, but he's part of a marriage has that he didn't even, he's not even um number one. It's like it makes a dude feel like a sad dude or some shit like that, like this some poly shit without a person even being alive. And she's like, what am I supposed to do? Again, like I told you, say first husband, late husband, first marriage, not a problem. You know what I'm saying? You have to give the next person in front of you, that current person, respect. I said, you don't want me bringing up how much I love one of my ex-girlfriends or my baby mama or some shit like that, and I still feel like I love them and this and that while I'm in front of you on a date or whatever, even after you done something nice for me. Come on. She's like, yeah, I understand. I understand. And then I broke it down to her. When a spouse dies, the marriage is over. And there's a point in time, a special time period where you stay to yourself and you grieve and you don't deal with another man until you're ready. And I said, if you've already dealt with other men before me, that time frame is over with. And I said, at this point, do you consider yourself committing adultery? What are you talking about? Right. And I said, that's by law and that's by scripture. Shortly after that conversation, she went to go get therapy. And I checked and asked her, because I've been, when I was growing up, I had some problems growing up. I've been through therapy and counseling as a kid, as a teenager, and as a young adult. I had talked to her in previous conversations about being careful about therapy and counseling, because sometimes these people can't help you. They have to have the exact same experience as you in the true intent to help you, versus making money and string you along for a specific time period until they feel like they made enough money off you, right? That conversation, she forgot that conversation. That shit went over her head. That's the thing about women. You can lead them all day and you can counsel them yourself. You can administer to them information as they need it as a man, and they reject you. They go out in the world to get their information. So it's in most cases it's just useless to talk to them and to try to tell them anything, right? So when I checked and see, how she felt about starting her therapy and, just doing a quality check, helping her with a quality check, she got offensive. She said, oh, I get it. I'm straight. And yeah, I'm like, well, do you feel good about it? Do you think they're there to really help you? Or do you think they're there to make money? Yeah, I think they're there to help me, right? So I don't say nothing. So I was like, well, since you seem kind of offensive or whatever, you think I'm prying and meddling and stuff like that. I said, well, I just won't really ask about it. And this is what I told her. I said, also, I won't ask you about your therapy no more. I'll let you do your therapy sessions on your own. Don't bring my name up in your sessions. Don't bring what we talked about and my name up in your sessions. Guess what she does? She brings my name up and what we talked about, specifically, me and her, the exchange we had about her perception of the death of her spouse and having to let go of that first marriage, right? Now, when we had that conversation before she went to therapy, she thanked me for that conversation in a dramatic, emotional way. I could hear it in her voice. You could feel the energy, right? Because we was talking over the phone. She thanked me for that conversation. That therapist knew I was telling the truth, but that therapist told her, no, you don't have to say what he asked you to say. And you are still married. And he knew that when he met you, and I'm like, wait a minute. So the therapist is going to literally lie to you? Like, so I sent her, I Googled law in general, state law in general concerning death of a spouse, showing that a marriage is ended. And then I sent her many scriptures, right? And then I kept emphasizing the fact that you've interacted with multiple men for the last 6-7 years. I'm like, your therapist, like, just go to therapy. Like, the therapist is lying to you. Your therapist is lying to you clearly because she knows, like, you can't come in a session with the information that already heals you. She has to string you back out there and along so she can get what she needs from you. I'm going to listen to a professional, blah, 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 you know, right? So then again, it goes back to they take counsel over outside other people versus you as their man. They break the communication ladder. You as their man, your family members, her family members, and God. And it seems kind of odd that you will put God at the lower part of that. But the thing is, she has to come through you as her man to get to God because God set the order like that. And the only reason why she would go to your family or her family is if you're fucking up as a man, right? That was the downswing of our relationship. It was very ironic that the therapist that came on TikTok caused all that controversy because this shit transpired with me a little bit before that. And then all this talk about men needing therapy, emotional intelligence, uh, all these new terms for being emotional, some type of emotional skill you need to have to deal with these modern thoughts. Nobody needs any emotional skills for these modern thoughts. These women are promiscuous, deviant, evil, sneaky, have bad behavior. And the only thing you can do is when you have the need, take care of your sexual preference with them, your heterosexuality. That's all you can do with them and stay clear of them as far as anything serious or getting tied up with them legally. Not risking finances, too much time and energy. Fat, out of shape, no household and home skills, no family skills, no communication skills, full of bad food, poison, unhealthy, full of marijuana, full of cigarettes, full of alcohol, full of meds, which all leads to brain cells on top of brain cells that won't, they can live the rest of their life and go clean right now. They won't recover those brain cells. And that's why they act like teenagers and kids and they're so delusional and psychotic. You'll never know their true sexual history. There's always other men. And even though they're dealing with other men, they're still chasing relationships and marriage, and they're unsuitable for them. And they're not going to contribute anything. They're going to continue to be problematic. And every day they go into the single world, the hookup culture, because it's not even a dating market anymore. It's disguised as dating. I don't care if it is really dating. Dating is bad. Hookup culture is even worse. If it's not courting and contracting, you're in trouble. And they're coming out here every day in mass numbers in disarray, thinking they're going to not settle or get a good deal. Like they're more valuable than you. And I don't hate women. I love women. I still love black women. I just can't fuck with them no more. I love the American way. I was glad to be born in the good old US of A. Once I realized I shouldn't be practicing dating, and once I realized the average American woman that I deal with, I would be sharing, and then I would be less belittling myself, trying to prove something to her and pull her away from other men. And then I'm still not going to be in a position of the natural order where it needs to be to at least start the formation of a relationship with one of these American women. I seen the light. I don't hate these women. I really don't. I love my black woman, but I just can't be with my black woman because the conditions of the environment, the devil has taken hold of her. And I would be less than a man to try to have any serious dealings with her. And I don't want leftover women. Everybody deserves a second chance, but these women don't want to go through the redemption process. They don't take accountability. They don't want to go through the redemption process. They don't want to do what's necessary. And I know what redemption is. I came from the gutter. I came from the mud. I came from laying down in the bushes in the creek. I know the redemption process. I believe in second chances. There is no person more understanding than me. I love a comeback. I love the underdog. But what's going on right now, to be a true man, it is impossible for you to be that if you participate. It's impossible. This is your boy Zulu Gutter. Like, share, subscribe, comment. I'm out. I'll get with y'all later. Got another stream coming up. Y'all have a good day.